Who knew James Charles could be seen as a palate cleanser? These are really dark times, you know what I mean? Welcome back to my channel. If you've never been here before, I usually think this joke out first, but not today. Today, we're going off the cuff. Yes, it's another off the cuff reactionary video, just from me to you. As a disclaimer, my lip is swollen. I look like the Joker, like the Jack Nicholson Joker. The real Joker.
Oh, controversial.
I thought today we would go for like a nice little palette cleanser and, you know, talk about Jimmy Chuck and his attempt to come back to the internet because it's time, apparently. You know, like a month or two is definitely a sufficient amount of time for all the learning and growing and changing that he had ahead of him. So I haven't watched this video, open conversation video. But I do know James took down his infamous taking accountability video in which he took no accountability. We're gonna watch this together because that's what we do sometimes. And this is that sometimes. But before we get into it, I do want to let you know today's video is sponsored by Atlas VPN.
Atlas VPN, what is that?
Atlas VPN encrypts your data and hides your virtual location. Very important stuff. It gives your device a new IP address and DNS server and keeps your information safe. There's also a really helpful tool called the Data Breach Monitor, which is exactly what it says it is. You put in your email address and the Data Breach Monitor will scan and see if your email address has come up in any data breaches and if you need to change that pesky password you recently wrote down and misplaced. Keeps your most sensitive information safe. And the tracker blocker blocks dangerous websites for safety. And safety is great and all, but have you ever wanted to say, I don't know, watch Netflix from a different country? Because I have, particularly Netflix Canada and UK. Well, Atlas VPN lets you do that. When you turn on your VPN, you'll have a little scroll down and pick the country that has the droids you've been looking for, sign into your Netflix, and boom! There it is. Turns out Spanglish is on Netflix. How about all the seasons of Peppa Pig? Now you don't have to watch the same 8 episodes over and over. Maybe this one's just specific to me. And it's not just limited to Netflix, Prime, Disney+, Hulu, and it's not just limited to entertainment. Find great deals on things like plane tickets and hotels, block malicious third-party ads, and cut out all that wacky censorship when you're traveling abroad. Atlas VPN is supported on any and all devices, and right now if you click the link in my description, you can land yourself a sweet 86% off a 3-year subscription, which in non-math people speak means it breaks down to $1.39 per month. And there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. Only a fool would not partake in such risk-free goodness.
So there's that. Thanks Atlas VPN for sponsoring this video. Now, let's do what we do best. Calling this video an open conversation I feel like is preemptively hilarious. So for that, I'm gonna continue to caffeinate. Let's go.
Hi sisters,
He's back, everybody.
James Charles here and welcome back to my YouTube channel.
Oh, sister sincerity is just overwhelming.
First of all, wow, it feels so weird to say those words out loud.
That doesn't feel sister scripted at all.
Oh my gosh, it has been a really, really long time since I've been down here in the makeup studio, but it feels really good to be sitting here today. I have missed you guys more than you could ever imagine.
I hate when influencers say things like this because, like, what does that mean? For a platform my size, for a platform of 12,000 people, if I took a couple months off, like, I would miss posting, I would miss interactions, I would miss, you know, the community. But, like, with a platform of 25.1 million subscribers, it feels like a tactic to make you, to elicit some sister sympathy. You know what I'm saying?
I hope you're enjoying your summer. I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a very happy and beautiful Pride Month. It kind of feels like the world is finally getting back to normal with all the vaccines and stuff.
James, you were out on Sister Sunset with a bald cap on during the pandemic. It's not like you were sisters staying home, you know what I mean?
I got both my shots over the past couple of weeks, which has been amazing. And I really feel like there's a lot of beautiful things happening in the world right now. And I'm really looking forward to catching up with you guys today.
I said this before, but like I sister sincerely think I had that shirt, and I think I got it from Limited Too when I was 12. Wild the way fashion comes back, you know?
As you know, over the past couple of months, I have been offline.
Have you? Have you?
Okay.
After I posted my last video, which was holding myself accountable, I felt as though it was really, really important for me to actually hold myself accountable and take a major, major step away and do a lot of work behind the scenes.
Every time an influencer says behind the scenes, I want to hurl myself down a flight of sister cement stairs. Not literally, but emotionally. Because I hate it. It's like when everybody ends a sentence with, if that makes sense. It's like, it makes sense. You don't have to emphasize that. If it didn't make sense, the person would then say, hey, that doesn't make sense. That's how conversations work. Anyway.
The last 3.5 months now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, have been really weird. I've been doing social media for almost 6 years now, which is wild to think about, but I've really never taken a long break.
Well, I'm so glad this was a much needed break for you, because that's what this was absolutely about.
To just be away and work on myself. So this time was definitely different for me, but I also feel as though this has been some of the most important months in my entire life in terms of personal growth and self-reflection, and I'm really looking forward to talking to you guys a lot about that in today's video. I really want this today to just be a super, super honest, raw, unfiltered, sit-down conversation between myself and anybody else who wants to listen.
That's not what a conversation is, though. Like, a conversation isn't you talking and just somebody listening. Like, a conversation is when both parties are talking, you know?
There's a lot that I want to talk about in today's video. I have a lot of positive topics, but I also think it would be ridiculous and irresponsible to try to just come back to social media and pretend like nothing happened.
It would. It would. It's also sort of ridiculous that you're already coming back to social media, because that seems like it seems like you might be rushing it a little. Just my 2 sister cents.
And move on with regularly scheduled makeup programming. So I do also have some pretty serious topics to discuss in today's video as well, being what happened a couple of months ago. I want to clarify some things that didn't happen a couple of months ago and everything that happened after I posted my video, but more importantly, talk a lot about the realizations that I've come to behind the scenes, the conversations that I've been having with myself, my friends, my family, peers, business colleagues, and professionals to really come to terms with a lot of different issues that I have been ignoring for quite a while now. And once again, just talk a lot about the growth.
Oh my God, get to it.
And hopefully be able to not move on from the situation, because I don't think that that's the appropriate language to use, but hopefully move forward.
What's the fucking difference? What's the difference? Those are the same.
And I really hope that you guys will choose to join me in this conversation. For today's video, I really want to get ready together for a few different reasons. One being I miss doing makeup so much, and I really want to do a pretty look in today's video. But also 2, when I posted my last video, one of the biggest pieces of feedback that I got was that it felt really, really ingenuine and scripted. And that really, really sucks, because that video was not scripted, but I am really bad at just sitting down in front of a camera and talking. So by the time that I, got the sentence out that I was imagining in my head after 8 different tries, it almost did become a script. And I think that we can all agree that that last video was definitely not a great one. It was a miss. And that really sucks, because that video was super important.
Well, yeah, that video was super important. And the thing is that even though it wasn't great, it should still be on your channel. I assume it's not there for legal reasons at this juncture, but it should still be there, you know what I'm saying?
It was obviously really embarrassing to talk about.
Okay, I don't know how many times he's gonna say that things were embarrassing, but I'm just gonna say it right now. I sincerely don't care if James Charles feels embarrassed, because A, he should feel embarrassed, and B, he allegedly sister sexted minors. Your embarrassment is not like that's not like a points thing. You know what I mean? You don't get points for feeling embarrassed about doing something illegal, you know what I mean? If you notice the camera angle changed like 4 times, well, you're observant.
That in front of the entire world, but I really wanted to apologize to the people affected and also hold myself accountable for the role that I did play. And I feel like a lot of the points and a lot of what I was trying to talk about in that video got overshadowed by the tone and the delivery. And I really don't want that to be the case with today's video.
I'm gonna go ahead and like disagree with that, because I don't feel like the tone or any of that overshadowed the message. I think what was said was the message, and it was just bad. I think it could just be bad. I think the situation is bad, and therefore the video is. I don't think you should be expecting to put out like a banger of a video, you know, when you're apologizing for allegedly sister sexting minors.
I do recognize that a chit chat, get ready with me might not feel like the most appropriate format for a serious conversation. I hear you 1,000,000%. For me, I just makeup is like my art form, it's my therapy, it helps me calm down and reduce my anxiety. So my goal is to hopefully be able to create a beautiful look by the end of this video while also having a really serious conversation with you guys that I think is important, so my brain won't be too distracted and running a million miles an hour and tripping me up over my words.
Okay, I'm just gonna say it right now. Like, doing a makeup look during this, regardless of his logic here, it's sister super tacky is what it is.
I hope that makes sense. I don't want to undermine the severity of the topics in any way, shape, or form. I think this will be the best way to go about just talking about a lot of different things together. And that being said, I think we should just go ahead and get started. All right, you guys, so I'm just going to get started on my makeup routine. This is definitely not going to be a tutorial. Like I said, I do want to have a conversation throughout the video today. And I definitely think the first topic that I want to talk about is just going over, once again, everything that happened a couple of months ago and clarifying a lot of stuff that's happened after I posted my last video and what people have been saying, answering some questions, and talking about the growth and everything that I've been working on for the past couple of months behind the scenes.
Growth! Thank God, I was worried we weren't gonna say growth, change, or learned. So we're on our way.
As you guys know, I posted my Holding Myself Accountable video, and in that video talked about how basically 2 guys had come forward with stories on social media about how I had inappropriate contact with them when they were under the age of 18. Now, when this was all going on, my first reaction was to be super upset because I did mention in that video that they had lied to me about their age and that I absolutely did not groom them. And my first reaction was to post a no more lie style video, debunking everything and fighting back and everything. And then I really had to sit down.
And you sat down with your lawyers and probably figured out that that wasn't the best avenue to take, would be my guess.
And reflect and look back at myself and my actions and things that had happened. And I really realized that at the end of the day, as the adult and the person with the platform, it was 1000% my responsibility to be doing my due diligence and checking into the people that I was speaking to, and I failed to do that. And that really, really sucks. And that's why I uploaded that video.
That really, really sucks. What part about that really sucks? That you're the one that has to do the due diligence? Or also, Snapchat is not a dating app. Just want to remind you that Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, not dating apps. Just gonna put that out there.
Because I felt as though it was really important for me to hold myself accountable, give people an explanation as to what went down, and most importantly, apologize to the people that were actually affected by my actions. One of the responses that I saw quite a lot on social media and in the comments of that video was a lot of people I felt like this is just another James Charles scandal that I could easily move on from, like nothing ever happened.
I hate James Charles air quotes. James Charles air quotes also make me want to hurl myself down a flight of sister cement stairs. Not literally. Emotionally.
And I really feel as though it's important for me to just address right away that that is absolutely not the case in any way, shape, or form, and that could not be further from the truth. First of all, I feel like calling this a scandal in the first place,
I hate it.
is just not an appropriate word to be using with this situation. There's no denying that I've been in my fair share of scandals online, but using that word with this situation just feels really, really wrong. And it really feels like it's making light of what actually happened, and I don't want to do that. I definitely have not been taking this lightly. If I thought that this was just some stupid scandal that I can move on from, I would not have uploaded my last video, and I would be posting on social media like nothing ever happened. But
What did he just say?
I wouldn't be posting on social media like nothing ever happened, but
Wait, what did he just say?
I wouldn't be posting on social media like nothing ever happened, but
You wouldn't be posting on social media like nothing ever happened. I feel like he meant he would be posting on social media as if nothing ever happened, but I feel like that was like just a delicious Freudian slip right there. Thank you.
this has been the worst but most important wake-up call of my entire life for a lot of different reasons, and this is by far the most embarrassing thing to ever happen to me.
And I don't care. You may feel differently. I don't give a shit if this is embarrassing for James Charles, because it absolutely should be. The crux of the issue is not whether or not he feels embarrassed about his decision to allegedly sister-sext minors. He should have been sister-seeking some help for what appears to be a questionable predilections of a sister-sexual nature. Thank you.
I mean, if you guys have been following for a while now, you all know what happened in 2019. I'm definitely not going to get into that, but you know, when that all happened, I was accused of something that I did not do, and I was able to prove it all wrong, but I did recognize that I needed to make changes, and I uploaded a video making a lot of promises to my audience and to the public that I was going to work on myself behind the scenes.
I hate it.
And I did. I spent 2 years, you know, changing my behavior, changing the way that I went about dating and flirting with guys. I worked on rebuilding my brand and my social media presence.
Wait, okay, so if what happened with,
whoa!
if this was how he changed his behavior and how he interacted with guys, what was he actually doing before? is my question. This video is giving me more questions than answers. Thank you.
And now, 2 years later that this is happening again, even though the situations are not connected, even though it's a different thing, it really looks as though I have made no progress. I haven't listened, I haven't learned, and that sucks so much. I really feel like I let down myself. I feel like I let down my team, my friends, my followers, everybody who has been by my side supporting me and even defending me over the past 2 years from everything that went down beforehand. I now feel as though I have made to look stupid.
So it sister sucks that your image is being tarnished by your choices and bad behavior. Yeah, that's a fucking bummer.
And that is quite literally the most crushing, embarrassing feeling in the entire world. And I said it in my last video, but I will say it again to everybody close to me, to all my friends, my family, my fans. I am so sorry for disappointing you guys and letting you down once again.
Okay, but what about like the minors?
You know, as scary as it is to think about, I've also come to terms with the fact that this isn't just something that I can move on from.
I hate it.
I am aware that, you know, no matter what I say in this video or 10 videos down the line or a year's worth of videos down the line, these stories and accusations are going to follow me for the rest of my life and the rest of my career. And that sucks so much. It's not even funny. And
How many times are we going to talk about how much this sister sucks for you? How many times are we going to have to hear that its sister sucks for James? That the direct consequences of his alleged actions are here.
it's so horrifying and embarrassing, but at the end of the day, it's my own fault and my own responsibility to, you know, take accountability for what I did. I want to be held accountable for what I did do. And all I can hope is that whether it be, you know, weeks, months, years down the line.
I don't mean to be nitpicky here. The words he's saying are good, right? Like in theory, if you have a creator that's apologizing for something or actually taking accountability for something, these are good words. But like, here's my thing. James talks a lot about like, I hope you get to see the growth and the change in me and blah, blah, blah. I'm doing all this shit behind the scenes. How difficult, if you're not actually openly admitting to having a problem, you know, in this area, how difficult is it? How much growth do we need to achieve to just stop sending lewd photos to minors or like trying to pick up young looking guys on social media? Like, really, like how much growth is required for that simple task? It feels like James is doing too much and also like not enough at the same time, which I didn't think was possible, but evidently it really is.
Now, like I said, obviously I have absolutely no problem holding myself accountable for things that I did do, but I also do think as creators, or not even really creators, as human beings, we should also be able to defend ourselves on things that we didn't do. Now, when I posted my last video holding myself accountable, I mentioned that I was going to be taking a break from social media for a while and wouldn't be responding to anything. And quite a lot of people took advantage of my time away and really ran wild with all sorts of stories and videos and allegations that made this situation a lot worse.
But if you were not on social media, like how would you know that? Because like he was on social media like all the fucking time. Thank you.
I do want to take some time in this video today to just shed some light and further information on some stories, you know, that either did or did not happen and that I saw being spread on social media while I was gone.
I saw these things on social media while I was gone is the greatest contradiction of our lifetime. Wouldn't you, I don't know, hire a social media manager and a legal team and like just legally fight off accusations like that without you having to be there, you know? Because that kind of seems like a thing you should do, especially if you have a lot of expendable income. Just sister spitballing, you know what I mean?
Because I think it's really important that you guys have the full picture of what actually went down. There was basically one drama channel on Twitter that started a thread and started compiling a list of anybody that said literally anything about me on social media. And after what felt like weeks of somebody new coming forward every single day, it eventually became the 20 victims of James Charles.
Hey, Jeff Noodles.
I'm not going to go through this list one by one because I know that nobody wants to sit here for an hour listening to me talk about this, but I do feel as though I have to say something because I am just not comfortable with this video or really any video moving forward allowing anybody, let alone my followers, to think that there are any victims of James Charles, let alone 20 victims of James Charles.
Oh, James.
Because that is completely, unequivocally not true.
Unequivocally is not a word. I don't mean to be a dick, but like, that's not a word. Thank you, though.
Now, when I say that literally anything and everything was being added to this list, I really do mean anything and everything. There were a few different influencers from TikTok that slid into my DMs, or I slid into their DMs and had a 5-minute conversation with them until asking their age or sexuality.
I like a 5-minute conversation with them. I don't know, something about that feels inaccurate.
And they completely stopped responding. There were guys that I matched with on Tinder last year and they had their ages set to 18 or 19. So I talked to them and flirted with them for a while because that's the whole point of an adult dating app, until I realized that they were lying. So I blocked them and nothing further happened.
Listen, I don't know if anyone's sister suggested this, James, but like maybe you should start like, I don't know, looking for guys your own age might help you out. I know there's not like a huge difference between like 18 and however old James is, 22, something like that, 22, 23. But like, it's enough, you know? It's a big enough difference.
One of my own friends is on that list simply because we filmed a TikTok together when he was 18, and the drama channel that was posting this just decided that I groomed him. You know, there's
my high school on that list because he made a video about me, and as annoying as it was, at least in his video, he fully said that it was completely consensual, that we were both grown adults, and that he was only posting it for clout. I can at least appreciate the honesty, but the problem is when it was reported on Twitter, it was a fan comes forward about James Charles forcing him to do blah, 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 which is just so far from what was even said by the person that actually made the video in the first place. But the worst part about all of this is that on top of all of those situations, there were countless videos posted that were completely fake. I'm not talking about somebody unsent a message or somebody took something out of context. I'm talking about conversations that fully never happened, that were edited from beginning to end. Now, to be fair, there were several other drama channels
and even news outlets and reporters that were calling out this person for knowingly posting fake stories and information time and time and time again, and I'm really, really appreciative of that. But the problem is, we are such a headline-driven society.
Oh, here it comes. Because we live in an XYZ sister society. Tell us about it, James.
That people don't see that information being corrected or, you know, being taken down. All they see is that initial headline, which literally said the 20 victims of James Charles.
I hate it.
And that's the information that sticks with them. When more and more things were being added to this list, the one response that I saw over and over and over again was that there's a pattern here. You know, James keeps saying that he's the victim. He keeps saying that these people are lying to him or taking advantage of him. All these people can't be working together, and where there's smoke, there's fire, so obviously something is going on. And I 1,000,000% understand exactly why people are saying that, because if I was on the outside, I'd be saying the same exact thing. It looks so suspicious. I kept thinking, like, why does this keep happening to me? What am I doing wrong? Why can't I just find somebody who likes me for me? But I finally realized, and like I talked about in my last video, I was allowing myself to be so easily accessible to literally anybody who wanted to give me attention and have a conversation for 5 minutes, because I was so delusional in thinking that the conversation can't hurt. Maybe it'll actually lead to me finding, you know, the one. I wasn't realizing that that also increases my chances of finding somebody not great, that doesn't want to talk to me for the right reasons, and that might lie or take advantage of me. And that is nobody's fault other than my own.
The fact that like James just explained all of that and then goes, okay, yeah, but like that's on me. Like, what? Oh, James.
That being said, though, there is a second pattern that's happening here that I really do feel like a lot of people aren't seeing, and I feel as though it's important for me to point out. And that pattern is that if you make a video about me, your experience dating or talking to me, whatever it may be, whether it's completely real or completely fake, it will go viral on social media.
That is like an incredibly pompous thing to say. And that being said, I really look forward to this video going viral.
Now, I am not saying that to boost my own ego and beat my chest and act like I'm so important and so famous. It really is just the reality of the situation. If you look at the people's profiles who have posted this content, all of their videos have 1,000 views, 2,000 views, maybe 10,000, but then all of a sudden, my experience with James Charles, whether it be completely real or completely fake, has 6 million views. And at this point, it's literally become a trend to post screenshots of conversations, not just with me, but with everybody. And at this point, dare I even say, like a meme.
I hate it.
To post your experience talking to James Charles.
I'd stop with the fucking air quotes before I lose my mind. I can't.
Now, once again, I recognize that this is my own fault. I wish more than anything I could go back in time and stop myself from making all those jokes about straight guys years ago and talking about dating and how I was single and how I wanted a boyfriend so badly. Like, I wish more than anything that I kept that private. Unfortunately, at this point, there's nothing that I can do about that other than just be better moving forward. But at the same time, I'm still a human being that deserves privacy and respect like everybody else. You know, it's one thing to have a super innocent and casual 5-minute conversation with somebody on Instagram DMs or a dating app, and then to scroll on your For You page an hour later and see every single message that was sent.
I've said this in past James Charles videos, but if this is supposed to make me feel sister sorry for him, I don't. But also, like, this is the reason why dating apps like Raya exist, because that's what happens when you use social media as a dating app.
It already feels really, really violating and dehumanizing, but at the same time, once again, it's my own fault, and that's just what happens with having a platform.
I feel like his words are not matching up. Like, he's explaining away all these things, like how, you know, all these things are happening to him, and then he's following it up with, but it's completely my fault. Like, he's placing blame on other people and then saying that that is his fault. Like, I feel like the point he's trying to drive home is that it's his fault, but he's also still trying to explain away all the things that he sincerely feels, in my opinion, are not his fault. A little bit of dichotomy going on there. Let's just keep going, because if I keep digging into the sister semantics of this, I'm going to sister scream.
And when speaking of this, I think it's really important for me to clarify as well that in no way, shape, or form am I trying to invalidate victims or victim blame or victimize myself either. When I posted my last video, I recognized that although I was not guilty of what I was being accused of, I was not innocent in general and did need to make a lot of changes and apologize moving forward.
I don't know what does that mean? I'm not guilty of what I'm being accused of. How did he put that? I wasn't guilty of what I was being accused of, but I wasn't innocent in general. What does that fucking mean? What does that mean? That's very contradictory.
What does it mean?
So I'm not trying to invalidate any of those people, but at the same time,
But if you, wait, if you're fucking, wait, if you're not guilty, but you're also guilty, what are you apologizing for? What the hell are you talking about? Sorry, I got lost in thought about my own mortality.
you can't be a victim of something that did not happen. And with all these people making completely fake conversations and screenshots and posting videos of a 5-minute conversation just to get attention and clout and likes and go viral on social media to add to this crazy narrative, all it does is discredit and disrespect the people that were actually affected in the first place.
There were no victims, though. Am I dumb? Am I sister stupid? Like, am I missing something? Because at first we were talking about the things that happened, and then we were talking about the things that were faked that happened. But there were statements like there were no victims, even though he said there were victims last time, and now there's victims again, and then there's no victims. What is happening?
And it waters down the severity of the issue and the situation going on, but it also discourages people from being able to come forward in the future, because when it's so easy to Photoshop and edit these conversations from beginning to end, nobody's gonna know what to believe, and that is a really, really dangerous situation.
I will agree with that.
The last thing that I kind of want to talk about is that I know when I upload this video, there's going to be a lot of people that say, okay, cool, James, you said this before, so where's your receipts and your screenshots to back it up? And that's totally valid.
I'm not going to say that. What I'm going to say is that you should have stayed away from social media altogether for like a year. That's what I'm going to say.
But I'm going to let you guys know right now that I'm not going to be including any in today's video. And I could sit here and say that that is because I'm trying to be the bigger person and grow and not get involved in tea or drama anymore. And that would be true. But the real reason why I'm not including screenshots in today's video is because I don't have them. I know that I kind of became like known for that after No More Lies, but
I hate it.
I know what I've done, I know what I have not done, and I know what I need to work on. And all I can hope is that there will always be people out there who are willing to let other human beings learn and grow from their mistakes. And I just really look forward to hopefully showing that in the future. You know, speaking of learning and growing, the last thing that I just want to briefly discuss before we move on to a more lighthearted subject.
It's time for the learning and growing segment.
I would love to just take a few minutes of your guys' time and talk a little bit about the progress that I made and the conclusions that I have come to over the past couple of months.
Oh man, I was hoping it was going to be a sister sponsorship. That would have been fucking hilarious.
Because I promised that I would do that in my last video, and I feel like I owe it to you guys. Whenever anybody apologizes, personally, I always think it's really important to not only apologize, but also to be able to explain that you understand how what you did was wrong and why it affected somebody and how you're not going to do it again in the future. So when I uploaded my last video, I talked a lot about how I was desperate and coming to terms with that. And looking back now, that was not the right word to use. It became quite a meme and a trend online.
How would you know that, James? You were off of social media, weren't you? Right? This kid kills me.
And I totally understand why. That was not supposed to be an excuse for anything that happened at all. I was simply trying to explain to you guys that I finally understood why I kept getting into this position over and over and over again, and how it was my own fault and nobody else's. I really was convinced that I was able to live this like Hannah Montana double life fantasy where I could be James Charles, the internet persona beauty guru during the day, but then later on I could wipe my makeup off, get in normal clothes, and talk to people on Instagram DMs or on a dating app, or even hang out with somebody and have them see me as James Dickinson.
Did James Charles just make... We all saw it. It's fine. Oh my god. Oh my god! There's not Hannah Montana memes by now.
And looking back now, I am so angry with myself that I was ever this delusional to think that it was possible. It's a lovely thought and a lovely idea, but the reality is they're the same person. And until I gave somebody the opportunity and the time to get to know me.
Yeah, I mean, Hannah and Miley were the same person too. Oh my god. I had a vision of James Charles like in one of those Disney Channel commercials where they do like the fucking ears, and he's like, I'm James Dickinson and this is Disney Channel.
And my heart and my soul, they were always going to see me as James Charles.
you know I hate it.
In my last video, I mentioned that moving forward, I was going to be asking every single person that I spoke to for IDs to make sure that this never ever happened again. And that's already something that I've been doing and has been working great.
Really? Like, okay, like I tore him apart a little bit for this in the last video. Like, first of all, it came off with a very passive aggressive tone, asking people for IDs before you date them. That's stupid. Just date people who are not children. What a weird, I mean, I guess not. Now that I'm saying it out loud, because he is famous, it comes off maybe a little less weird, but like, can you imagine like hitting someone up on Tinder and then being like, yo, can you send me like your state ID? I just need like proof. Like, could you scan your passport so that I can see that you're not a minor?
But it's now clear to me more than ever that I need to be doing so much more to protect myself and my brand and my privacy and safety, most importantly, as well.
Privacy and safety of children as well. Just putting that out there.
And these are all things that I've learned from making mistakes. Everything that I've learned about dating in terms of protecting myself and red flags to look out for has been through experiencing something and not wanting that to happen again. I got called out for flirting with straight guys, so I stopped allowing myself to be a science experiment. I've been on dates before where guys have tried to take pictures of me on the DL, so it's now gotten to a point where a lot of times when somebody comes over, I'll ask them to leave their phone at the front door. I've even been in situations where I had a guy over and I asked him to leave because he made me uncomfortable and he hit me, which was horrifying, but I learned from that and I now never have anybody over without my roommates being home. God forbid anything happens. Now, I'm not bringing any of that up to ask for sympathy.
Wait, is James, I'm sorry that happened to James. I want to preface that, what I'm about to say, by saying that nothing ever justifies any of that. However, is he stupid? Maybe it's just a woman's perspective or an old person's perspective, but like, maybe don't have a first date with someone at your house. Like, that doesn't seem like a good idea, especially when you're well known. I feel like that's extra stupid.
Speaking of the future, I really don't know what that is going to look like. Like I mentioned, I am going to be so much more careful moving forward with every single person that I talk to or interact with, but that doesn't mean that I still don't want to find my right person, just like everybody else. I just don't exactly know how to go about that yet, but I'm going to figure it out as I go. You know, one of the really interesting things to me was when this was all happening, a lot of people were saying like, he shouldn't be DMing people, he needs to be on this app, or he shouldn't be on this app, he needs to do this, he needs to do this. I've been on Tinder and Hinge, but I've had people either lie or take screenshots, and my account is currently banned on both of those apps for catfishing as myself. I had a Raya account, which is like the celebrity dating app.
I hate it. You know, he's talking about the thing I've been saying for 2-3 videos. I still fucking hate those air quotes.
But even conversations from there got leaked a couple of weeks ago and they declined my request to rejoin. There have been so many people too saying he just needs to give up and date a celebrity. You guys, trust me when I say I would literally love nothing more. Oh my God, if that option were on the table, trust me, it would have been taken a long time ago. The idea of dating somebody that's in LA that has a busy but flexible schedule, that understands my life, that has money so that I don't have to pay for everything, that I can film videos with or walk red carpets with, like, hello, that is literally a dream come true. Oh my God. The problem is the list of 20 to 25-year-old queer men that are also in the public eye with a large following is just really, really small. And I'm friends with almost everybody that is on that list.
James is friends with all of the 20 to 25-year-old queer men in Hollywood. Noted. Also, go meet people in life. There is life beyond social media. I want this for everybody. There is life beyond social media. You know, in the old days, we used to walk 30 miles in the snow just to get to our dates. I'm 35, right? I'm not that old. I'm old, but I'm not that old. I'd like to say that, like, you don't need to date somebody to be like a whole complete person. And also, like, you're much more likely to like find someone and meet someone that like matters if you stop fucking looking so hard. Like I said, I'm old, but I'm not that old. And I'm not like a dating app kind of person. And for me, like meeting someone organically, doing something like you like to do, it's a lot better. It's just better. Am I old? I must be.
So it's really just not an option. You know, I don't know who my perfect person is going to be or how I'm going to go about meeting them. I do know that I'm going to be way more careful and way more patient moving forward, but I still want to be able to talk to new people, meet new people, and have experiences just like every human being does, and find love like every human being deserves.
Nobody is denying James Charles the right to like meet new people or like talk to people. Like, just don't send lewd photos to minors, you know, or like, you know, stop trying to fuck everybody who responds or sends you a DM. Like, it's really not that hard, you know? It's just really not.
And of course, when that happens one day, I would love, love, love to share that with you guys. But until that happens, unfortunately, no matter how careful I am, I'm most likely still gonna run into people that will always value likes or making a video over somebody's privacy and feelings. And that sucks.
That does suck. I will give you that. But you know what? The thing is I'm really getting frustrated hearing influencers gripe and complain about the injustices that they share as a collective because of their career choice. And the thing is this is your career choice. You are a public figure who makes millions and millions of dollars, and the sacrifice is the privacy. Unfortunately, I'm not saying that it's correct. I'm saying this is just the way that it works. You're sacrificing your privacy. You are sacrificing your ability to enjoy things like dating and whatnot, like a normal person for the most part. But it is also how you present yourself. What you've presented to the internet is someone who can't be trusted to interact with your own fan base without issue. We'll call it issue. And furthermore, I don't know, there was a furthermore there, but I lost it.
All I can do is just learn from that situation and figure out how to better protect myself and be more careful moving forward. And that, I promise, is exactly.
That's what it was. I'm not gonna sit here and justify the fact that public figures don't have privacy, or that because they are public figures, because they are in certain industries, that they deserve it or that warrants that sort of treatment. However, it is expected, and you are not required to stay in this industry. So if you feel like what is happening to you, if the way that your privacy is being sort of a little more watered down than you would prefer, you're welcome to go get a job application for McDonald's. No one is saying you have to sit here in this industry. So I do think, while it's not justified that one loses all their privacy or loses their ability to go out and operate like a regular human being, I do think that part of the trade-off of the job is that you live a different life, in good ways and in bad ways.
What I'm going to be doing. I know that this has been a really, really long conversation and portion of the video, so if you made it all the way through to this point, I just want to say thank you for listening and hearing everything that I had to say. It really does mean a lot. Like I said, it would be really stupid to try to come back to social media and pretend like nothing ever happened, so as embarrassing as this was.
But at the same time, this video is a whole lot of you pretending that these things didn't happen. So what is happening?
I really felt as though it was important, and I owed it to you guys to just sit down and have a conversation about everything. I hope I was able to answer some questions, clear up some stuff that didn't happen, but most importantly, once again, be able to hold myself accountable for what did and explain to you guys that I understand why I put myself into this situation, why it's wrong, and how I'm working a lot on myself and making a lot of changes to make sure that this never ever happens again in the future. And I really, really hope to be able to show that to you guys if you choose to stick around.
This gesticulation really makes me want to hurl myself down a flight of sister cement stairs. Not literally, just emotionally.
For that journey. All that being said, this bake has been sitting on my face for literally 30 minutes now. I'm pretty sure the powder has melted into my skin, which is disgusting. So I'm going to wipe it away. We can get started on an eyeshadow look and hopefully have a much more fun end to this video.
Well, that sounds delightful, but I'm afraid that's where I'm going to stop because that's not part of an open conversation. Honestly, this video felt incredibly pointless. It felt like a requirement he was meeting so that he could come back to social media and say that he's addressed everyone's concerns. I am leaving this video with more questions than answers. Mainly, where is the nearest flight of cement stairs emotionally? Anyway, I think that's all I have for you guys today. If you liked this video, please feel free to give it a like. If you didn't like this video, you can sister subscribe. I make new videos whenever I feel like it. All of my social media is linked down below. All I ask is that you don't be an asshole. We do a live here every Friday night. It's a time. Come enjoy it with me and the rest of us. There's usually alcohol. thank you again to Alice VPN for sponsoring this video. Remember, click the link in the description for 3 years at just $1.39 a month. That's insane. Go click that link. Do it. Do it. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.